Not metaphorically, not as some poetic vision of retirement. He has stated repeatedly, explicitly, that he intends to spend his final years on the red planet, and he wants to send 1 million other people with him. Let that sit for a second. Because if one man actually pulls this off, it won't just be the greatest achievement in human history. It will fundamentally rewrite what it means to be a species. We will become multi-planetary, or we will die trying. But here's what they don't tell you in the headlines, behind the rockets and the timelines and the dramatic Starship launches. There's something much stranger happening. Something that most people have completely missed. We'll come back to that strange part right after a short break, because first, you need to understand just how serious Elon Musk actually is about this. And the answer is terrifying, inspiring, and possibly delusional, all at the same time. But before I reveal the hidden reason behind his obsession, my name is Michael, and we just launched this channel for people who love planets and universe. The goal is simple: tell the stories no one really talks about. If you want to support us and help us make better videos, consider subscribing. It's free, and it really helps more than you think. All right, let's get back to the story. Let me show you something that sounds completely insane. Musk has said humans could land on Mars as early as 2029. That's not a typo. In a world where NASA has been promising a Mars mission for 30 years and still can't get past the maybe in the 2040s stage. But here's the first thing you need to understand about this timeline. It's not based on hope, it's based on Starship. Now, before we go any further, I need to explain what Starship actually is. Because this isn't another rocket. This is the largest, most powerful flying object ever constructed by human beings. Standing 121 meters tall, that's taller than the Statue of Liberty, producing 16 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. For context, the Saturn V that took humans to the moon produced 7.6 million. Starship more than doubles it. And here's where it gets genuinely ridiculous. Starship is designed to be fully reusable. Every other rocket in history has thrown away its most expensive components after a single use. Imagine if you bought a 747, flew it once, and then melted it down for scrap. That's how every other space program operates. Starship changes that equation completely. The payload capacity is 100 metric tons to the Martian surface per ship. Musk wants to build a fleet of thousands. And this is the part where most people's brains start to glaze over. Because the numbers stop making sense. But stick with me, because what those numbers represent is the difference between a flags and footprints mission and an actual civilization. Now, let me pause here and show you why most experts think this is impossible, because we haven't even talked about the biggest obstacle, and it's not the rocket. It's the fact that Mars has no breathable air, no liquid water on the surface, temperatures that drop to -80 degrees Fahrenheit on a warm day, radiation levels that would give you a lethal dose in about 18 months. So how does Musk solve this? And this is where his plan gets genuinely interesting. He wants to terraform Mars, not in some distant, far future science fiction way. He wants to start immediately, and his proposed method is the most Elon Musk thing imaginable: nukes. Specifically, he has suggested detonating thermonuclear weapons above the Martian poles to vaporize the carbon dioxide ice. The idea is that this would release enough greenhouse gas to thicken the atmosphere, warm the planet, and eventually allow liquid water to exist on the surface. Now, before you dismiss this as insane, Let me tell you what the actual scientists say, because it's not as crazy as it sounds. At least, not for the reason you think. The problem isn't that it wouldn't work. The problem is that there isn't enough CO2 on Mars to make a difference. A 2018 study by NASA scientists found that even if you vaporized every bit of CO2 on the planet, you'd only increase the atmospheric pressure to about 7% of Earth's. Not nearly enough to breathe. Not nearly enough to warm the planet significantly. But here's what Musk says to that. He says, fine, then we do it the hard way. We build cities underground. We manufacture atmosphere from scratch. We import greenhouse gases from other planets. And this is the moment where you either believe he's serious or you don't. Because the gap between we'll figure it out and actually figuring it out is measured in trillions of dollars and decades of technological development. But we promised you something strange, something most people have missed, and here it is. Elon Musk isn't just building rockets. He's building the entire infrastructure for a Martian civilization, and he's doing it in plain sight. Let me show you what I mean. Starlink, the satellite internet constellation. You've heard of it. You might even use it. But have you ever wondered why a Mars company needs a global internet provider? Here's the answer. Starlink is the communications backbone for Mars. Every Martian city will need high bandwidth, low latency connectivity, not just between habitats, but back to Earth. And Starlink's laser inter-satellite links are being designed and tested right now, in orbit around Earth, for exactly that purpose. Then there's Tesla, not the cars, the battery technology, the solar technology, the autonomous driving systems. Every single one of those is a Martian technology being developed on Earth. And then there's the Boring Company, the one everyone laughs at, the flamethrowers, the silly hats, the tunnels under Las Vegas that don't seem to go anywhere. But here's what they're actually building. Underground tunneling technology that's 10 times cheaper and 10 times faster than anything else in existence. And where do you think the first Martian habitats are going to be built? Above ground, exposed to radiation and micrometeorites? Or underground, where the regolith provides natural shielding? The tunnels are the cities. The flamethrowers are a joke. The technology is not. And this is where most people stop watching. They think they've heard enough. They think Mars is just another Elon Musk hype machine. But right here, at this exact moment, I'm going to show you the single most shocking reason this might actually work. A reason that has nothing to do with rockets, tunnels, or even technology. It has to do with something that terrifies governments more than any weapon ever built. The money. Here's what everyone gets wrong about Mars colonization. They think it's a government project. Apollo for a new generation. But NASA's entire annual budget is about $25 billion. The James Webb Space Telescope cost $10 billion. The Space Launch System rocket has consumed over $20 billion and still hasn't flown a crew. Those numbers are nothing. Not compared to what Musk is building. Starship is being funded by Starlink. Starlink is projected to generate $30 to $50 billion in annual revenue within 5 years. That's more than NASA's entire budget. Every year. From one company. And Musk owns about 42% of SpaceX. Do the math. Within a decade, Elon Musk personally could have more annual income than the entire space program of the United States. And he has stated repeatedly that every dollar he makes is going towards Mars. This is the part that terrifies governments, because they can't compete with that. They can't outspend it. They can't out-innovate it. All they can do is watch. But here's where the story takes a turn, because we haven't talked about the dark side of this plan. And you need to understand this, because it changes everything. The first humans on Mars will not come back. That's not a guess. That's not a pessimistic prediction. It's a mathematical certainty. The fuel required to return a Starship from Mars to Earth is enormous. And in the early missions, every kilogram of cargo capacity will be filled with life support, food, water, and construction equipment, not return fuel. The first Martian settlers are colonists, not astronauts. They are leaving Earth forever. Musk has been honest about this. He talks about it openly. The first missions will be one-way trips. People will go knowing they will never see their families again, never feel rain on their skin, never breathe unfiltered air, never go outside without a spacesuit. And here's what he says to that. He says there will be no shortage of volunteers. And he's probably right. Thousands have already applied for Mars 1, a fake mission that was obviously a scam. The real thing? With real rockets and real funding, the line will stretch around the block. But that doesn't make it less disturbing. Imagine being the parent of a 25-year-old who signs up for this. You watch them climb into a rocket. You watch it launch. And then you watch it disappear into the sky, knowing that the next time you see your child, it will be on a screen, and the signal will take anywhere from 4 to 24 minutes to reach you. And they will age, and you will age, and you will die without ever touching them again. This is the reality of Mars colonization. But we promised you something else, something even stranger. And we're finally there. Why is Elon Musk so obsessed with Mars? He says it's about making humanity multi-planetary, about protecting the light of consciousness from extinction events, about becoming a spacefaring civilization. And those things are true, but they're not the whole truth. Here's what he doesn't say as often. He believes there's a high probability that artificial intelligence will destroy human civilization on Earth. Not in 100 years, in his lifetime. And Mars is the backup drive. Think about this. An AI on Earth, no matter how intelligent, cannot reach Mars without rockets. And rockets require infrastructure, and infrastructure requires humans. If humanity on Earth is wiped out, the colony on Mars survives. And then, eventually, returns. This is the real reason for the urgency. The reason the timelines are insane. The reason he's willing to accept risks that no government would tolerate. He's not just building a city on Mars. He's building an ark, and he believes the flood is coming. Let me give you 3 specific things that are happening right now that almost nobody is talking about. First, SpaceX is developing in situ resource utilization technology. That's a fancy way of saying making stuff from Martian dirt. They've already demonstrated the ability to extract oxygen from simulated Martian regolith. The plan is to scale this to produce enough propellant to refuel starships on the surface. Second, they're working on radiation-hardened habitats, not the inflatable modules NASA talks about. Actual underground structures constructed by autonomous robots that land ahead of the humans. The robots build the city. The humans arrive to a finished home. Third, and this is the strangest one, they're developing artificial gravity solutions. Mars has 38% of Earth's gravity. We have no idea if humans can live in that long term. So SpaceX is designing starships that can be connected by a tether and spun to create artificial gravity during the transit. Not for comfort, for survival. These aren't PowerPoint slides. These are engineering projects with budgets and timelines and teams of the best minds on the planet. Now here's what you need to understand. The question isn't whether he'll succeed. The question is what happens to the rest of us while he tries. Because if he fails, it will be the most spectacular failure in human history. Billions of dollars, thousands of lives, decades of effort, all of it gone, and the dream of Mars will die with him for another generation. But if he succeeds, if humans actually walk on Mars in this decade, if 1 million people are living on another planet within our lifetimes, then everything changes. The way we think about risk, the way we think about the future, the way we think about what it means to be human. Remember how we started? Elon Musk wants to die on Mars. That's not a slogan, that's the destination. But here's the question he never answers directly. What happens to the rest of us while he's on his way there? Mars is just the beginning of the story. Because if we actually build a city on another planet, the next question becomes obvious. What comes after? And the answer has been hanging in our sky every single night, waiting for us to come back. That's exactly what I dug into in my previous video about the moon. The one they told you was just a dead rock. The one that might actually be the most important stepping stone we've ever ignored. Because before Elon Musk can die on Mars, someone has to learn how to live anywhere else at all. And that lesson starts 238,000 miles away. Click here to watch it next. And if you want to follow this journey all the way to the red planet and beyond, you know what to do. Subscribe.